We would begin our session now. I hope we have all switched off our mobile phones. Thank you.
I think to begin with, there are some questions which have come to me. If you like, I can start with these questions. How should one live his life according to the Vedas? It's a very good question because there are many ways of life, and in India particularly, where there are a number of philosophical systems, a number of religions, a number of ethical codes, there's so much of multiplicity that one is bewildered as to what exactly one should be doing and how to guide our own life. And then when we speak of the Veda and speak of the Veda as something very supreme, we naturally want to know what exactly is this Vedic teaching and how the life should be lived. A proper answer to this question would require a very, very long exposition. But I'll speak a few words on this subject. In the first place, one can look upon Veda as the science of living. Now, I use the word science deliberately because very often we do speak of art of living, but there is a great difference between art of living and science of living. Art may be only a manner of living, style of living. It may be a kind of the rhythm of life. But there can be many rhythms. When you use the word science of living, it means that you know the basics of living. That is to say, your knowledge. And that makes all the difference. One can develop an art of life simply because one feels happy, comfortable about something, or because in the environment people live in a particular manner and we also follow the same manner. But when we speak of science of living, it means that there is a specific knowledge of the entire realm of living. The way in which I understand the Veda in the light of Sri Aurobindo, I have come to this conclusion that the Vedic rishis had examined the totality of life process. And just as there is a physics and chemistry in which you study the whole realm of matter, just as biology would study the realm of life of organisms of various kinds, or psychology deals with the science of the whole mind and operations of the mind. Similarly, the whole realm of living itself is a big domain. In fact, you may say all-comprehensive domain of existence is living. And unless you have seen the whole domain, you cannot have the science of it. Now the Veda or Vedic rishis were able to rise to such heights of consciousness that from there the entire domain of living could be visible. And therefore, one can relate one thing with the other very easily. There is first of all the mystery of the birth, and then there is the mystery of death. These are the two important items of living. Between birth and death, our living takes place. And during the process of living, we are guided by instincts and impulses at the lowest level, at a higher level by desires of various kinds. There are small desires, there are big desires. There are attractions which are temporary, there are long-standing attractions which remain for years and years with individuals. Then there are emotions of joy and sorrow and various others. And then there is a realm of various kinds of expressions, varied expressions. And then there is a realm of sensations, perceptions, ideations, conceptions, and plethora of them. The systems of thought, system of ideas, connections of ideas. It's a huge realm. And then there is still beyond, right up to the supermind and beyond supermind to the Ananda and Chit and Sat. The whole realm of existence, and all these are related to our living. So Vedic way of life was conceived as a result of the application of the knowledge that starts from our instinctive life up to the supramental life. And this knowledge is what is given in the contents of the Veda, right from instinctive life to the supramental life. And then the discovery of hierarchy in this entire process of living. This discovery of hierarchy is an extremely important discovery. In fact, in every organism, even in machines, there is a hierarchy. There is a self key which you wind and the whole ignition starts in the car. The clutches control the speed. The gears control the speed in a certain manner. The brake suddenly stops entirely the whole movement. You can regulate the speed in many ways. It is because of a hierarchy. There is a movement and a speed and there is a controller. Now the Vedic rishis found that there is a hierarchy in the entire movement from instincts up to supramental life. And if you make use of this hierarchy properly, then you can regulate your life through a system of progressive equilibrium. And this is very important. In human life, one of the big problems is the force of drive. Instincts drive us. Desires drive us. Attractions drive us. Even at the higher levels, even the impulses of expression that drive us. Once a child knows how to speak, there's a drive to speak all the time. When a poet begins to write, he has a drive to write. And similarly, there is a drive of thinking. Once you start thinking and you read this book and that book and that book, and there's a tremendous drive, So the entire life seems to be a kind of a driving. Now the question is, this driving creates a kind of a disbalance because of the fact that there are many drivers in our being. Instincts are driving, desires are driving, expressions are driving, mental thoughts are driving, and many others. So there are many drivers and all of them are pressing. Everyone wants to drive. And when there are these pressures of various kinds, there are what we call disequilibriums. That is why most of us live a life of disequilibrium. This is our normal condition. The Vedas says that life can be lived with equilibrium. This is one of the important lessons of the Vedic life. That if you drive or allow your life to be driven by some kind of an impulsion or by a certain drive, you may achieve some result, but there will be a backlash. And something will remain unfulfilled, which will also strive to fulfill itself. So you should know what exactly are the drives and how they can all be balanced. The whole idea of samatvam, which has become very prominent in the entire realm of living in India, whether it is Jainism or Buddhism or Hinduism or whatever, this idea of samatvam has gained ground because of this original idea of the Veda that life should be lived with some kind of equilibrium. At the lowest level, therefore, they found out that there are three fundamental drives in human beings. There is a drive of instinct and desire, which simply wants to enjoy. Then there is a necessity in the body and life to live, for which you require something from outside. The body requires to devour something so that the body can be sustained. So there is this need, constant drive to take things from outside and to devour. These two are primary drives in human life. And therefore the Vedas said that kama and artha, these are the two basic drives to enjoy and to devour, to gain something from outside. Artha is actually nothing but gaining something from outside to devour, and you fill yourself, and then you drive again. This kama and artha are supposed to be the two fundamental drives, and Vedas says that if you allow them to be driven at their own speed, there will be a lot of disequilibrium. So you should have certain method of control. This method of control was conceived